on the phone right now our special guest for this evening, our first of two special guests for the evening. This is Shawn Davairi, former WWE. What's up, man?
Hey, how are you guys doing?
All right. Davairi, a lot of people out there, of course, we've seen you in IWC recently, but a lot of people haven't seen you since you were in WWE. What have you been up to the last few months?
Last few months, I've just been, waiting out a 90 days no compete clause I had with WWE, so I was just doing independent shows here and there where I can. Just recently in January, my no compete expired, so now I'm kind of actually a free agent to kind of shop around my services to wherever else I want to, end up full time next.
How did you end up in IWC in December with the no compete then?
Well, the no compete thing was pretty much just for other national television products, so pretty much it kind of limited it to TNA and Ring of Honor and other companies that have a national television product. As far as like independent stuff or non-televised events, it really didn't hold true for those guys.
All right, cool. Where else are you going around doing independent shows by chance?
I've been wrestling everywhere. Right now I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. I've done shows in Texas, California, Florida, Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Midwest, pretty much all over the country. Just different promoters have been flying me in to do shows and stuff. So I've had a lot of fun, touring the country, seeing all these different independent companies.
Excellent. Well, what's the feedback been like from the fans?
I think the fans, everyone's kind of happy to see me. A lot of times they've always seen me as one role as a bad guy in WWE. I think they were very happy to some places I was able to wrestle as a good guy or a babyface, and I think fans are kind of happy that aren't familiar with my work to see a different side of me that they didn't get to see on Raw or SmackDown or anything.
All right, excellent. And let's go back to a little bit. Of course, a lot of people know you from WWE. You had a pretty good run there. Started off with Muhammad Hassan. That was a real big angle, a real controversial angle. What was it like to be put into something like that?
It was cool. I mean, it was nothing I wasn't used to. That was kind of the character Davairi that you saw in WWE was what I had been doing on the independents before I got signed. So it was nothing new to me. So it was kind of, I think one of the reasons we were able to do it so well is it was something I've been, doing for the last few years. It wasn't like a new character that was just bestowed upon me. It was something that's actually me. So it was very easy to fall into, especially having the years of experience to back it up.
Right. And did you get a lot of heat? Like, obviously you got a lot of heat, I think, on the internet and whatnot. But
it was a pretty heated deal. I don't think anything was irrational or uncalled for, but it was definitely something fun to do, and I think the fans really got a kick out of it as well.
Excellent. And of course, it led to a pretty good spot on WrestleMania with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, it was definitely a good deal, man. Working with him at Mania is always, working with him is awesome. Being able to work WrestleMania is awesome. Being able to do the two at the same time was fucking great.
That's fun, definitely. And and of course, it ended abruptly with after a SmackDown deal. Can you tell us how that came about? How did that get dropped so quickly?
Well, I don't know all the extent of it. I never really got a final say of where it all came from. But I know it had something to do with the London Olympics that happened earlier that day. It was we taped it on a Tuesday, which is when SmackDown was taped, and then it actually aired that Thursday. Well, that Thursday morning was they had those bombings in London, and the media jumped the gun and said that WWE was copying current events that happened that morning. It was in 4 days. When no one really stopped to look at the facts that this was something we taped 2 days earlier. We had no idea something like this was going to happen. And just once bad press starts, it's really hard to stop the machine, even if the information is accurate or inaccurate. And then that kind of led to, like I said, I don't know the chain of command where it all fell to, if that was a Vince McMahon decision, a UPN decision, where it came from. But it was shortly stemming from that they decided that they didn't want those characters on UPN anymore.
Yeah. And I know when it first happened, of course, they had the characters come out with the obvious terrorist kind of looking attire on. It was so some people think that went too far, even as far as the angle went. What do you think about that?
Also, like, what do you mean?
With the Muhammad Hassan was always kind of based in the truth. He believed what he was saying and everything. But with the final attack on Undertaker that on that episode with the masked characters, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, God, anything we ever did, even in the world of professional wrestling, was super tame and PG compared to what else is going on in television. You know, on other shows that deal with similar topics like terrorism and stuff, like 24 and Sleeper Cell, the unit. You see crazy violence and you know, just horrible acts of violence and rape and blood and stuff. Compared to what we were doing, I thought our stuff was pretty tame, so I don't even know why it was made out to be such a big deal. I was always one that wanted to push the envelope even further and further, but it never really happened at WWE.
All right.
Now, do you feel that the controversial nature of the character you had in WWE, has that benefited or hindered your ability to get over with the fans in these independent groups?
No, I mean, I think any sort of television exposure is good exposure. It doesn't, obviously there is stuff with bad taste. Well, I didn't have bad taste or anything that WWE took for me was a bad taste. So I wasn't too concerned about it. I thought everything was you know, all in all, for the sake of entertainment out there. So no, I don't think it hindered me at all. Yeah.
Excellent. And now one thing I didn't know, because of course I don't think I ever saw you do this in WWE, but your finishing move is actually called the Magic Carpet Ride, right?
Yeah.
And I saw this first time I saw this was at the last IWC show, and I actually was reading that you know, and explained that is your finishing move. Was there any reason that WWE didn't let you do it, or was it just a character development?
No, they never. I don't even think they're even aware of it. I mean, yeah, maybe they heard of it, but they never really had me do it because it was kind of a decision I made on my own because it always gets a pretty positive reaction. My whole tenure there, like I said earlier, I was a heel or a bad guy, so I never really tried to give the people any reason whatsoever to have an excuse to cheer for me. I always wanted to be the most hated guy in the show. Usually I was. So I just don't want to give them any reason whatsoever to like me even a little bit.
Excellent. Guys?
Dave?
Now this might be jumping forward a little bit from the timeline of where we're going with everything, but I've been curious. Of course, you've heard everybody hears what they want to hear. Speaking with you one-on-one, you've worked with him. What is it like to work with the Great Khali?
With who?
The Great Khali.
Oh, he's a cool guy. You know, we always got along. It was a good thing that me and him we get along very good. So I never had a problem with anyone I've ever worked with. I've never had a difficult time doing business with anybody. So it was a cool thing to be able to do business with someone that, you know, we also got along as personal friends. So, you know, anything together I enjoy doing, and I'll be more happy to work with him again in the future if it ever comes up.
Excellent. Is there a legitimate language barrier with him, or?
A little bit. He speaks broken English. I mean, he can communicate. It's just not very well. But like I said, the more we traveled together and toured together, we were able to, you know, kind of figure each other out. You know, sometimes they always feel like partners have a non-verbal way of communicating with each other. We had the same thing where just by his body language or his action or the way he says something, even if I couldn't understand what specifically he was saying, I knew what he was trying to communicate to me.
Excellent. Now a few issues ago in WWE Magazine, I remember there was a story about some interesting show riding buddies, and Khali and Hornswoggle were part of that story. Can you speak anything to that?
Yeah, it was just like we used to just travel together. We kind of had a Odyssey vehicle with 3 geeks. It was myself, Mark Henry, Greg Khali, and the Mitchell was with us every once in a while, and we would just kind of wreak havoc wherever the tour was going, or whatever part of the country, and we usually try to make the most of it.
That had been interesting for people at the rest stops to see.
Yeah, no, it was even cool. The one time we got pulled over by a cop, he had no idea what the hell he got himself into.
Do you have any good road stories? You know, aside from that.
Yeah, I got tons of them, but I can never remember them. Like, I get asked every interview I do. They always ask me some good road stories, and I can never, like, I don't know, nothing comes to mind. I'm sure as soon as we get off the phone, I'll think of 1,000.
Well, that's okay. That just means they were really good road stories. So, anything else?
Well, I gotta ask. You had mentioned that your non-compete clause is finally up.
Yep.
So, what can you share what your thoughts are towards any of the other products? Any place that you might be looking to get into?
Yeah, I mean, I guess wherever I see that will make myself the best fit for the wrestling audience. You know, if that's TNA, then I think TNA would be a great home for me. If it's Ring of Honor, if it's Japan, if it's Mexico, I think whatever company would allow, or I should say whatever audience, more so than the company, whatever audience would be the best fit for Davairi is where I'd end up, because that's something I've always prided myself on doing. Is wherever I go, I always do what's the most entertaining, not necessarily what's best for myself personally. So, you know, if that happens to be TNA, if we can do good business at TNA, I would be there in a heartbeat. I would love to entertain their audience. There's so many talented guys over there that I like to work with. I think they have very passionate fans, and I think I can provide something too. Same thing with Ring of Honor. If Ring of Honor ends up being a place for me to go to, I think there's some great business I can do. I worked there before I got signed, and I had a lot of fun. I think I was just starting to get my feet wet. So I got plucked out and went to WWE, but now 4 years have gone by. I think they're bigger, better, stronger. They got national pay-per-view and stuff like that, so I think maybe that could be another place for me, an audience that would really like to see Davairi in there. I'd be more than happy to go and perform for them.
And so we can hold out for the possibility of Kurt Angle Davairi reunion.
Yeah, I really have a hard time hearing you. Your phone's breaking up pretty bad.
Oh, sorry about that. I said so we can hold out for a Cena. I'm sorry, yeah, it's not Cena. A possible Kurt Angle Davairi reunion in the future.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I mean, he's doing such entertaining stuff that I could see myself easily fall back into place there.
Mm-hmm. How was that working with him? I know you were his personal referee for a period.
Working with Kurt was awesome. That's probably one of the highlights of my career on Raw, I should say. You know, working with him was probably some of the funnest stuff we got to do. We became very close friends through it. We traveled together. You know, we stayed in the same hotels. We worked out at the same gyms. We ate at the same restaurants. It was really cool to have, you know, not always the person you're working on screen with, you're able to tour with at the same time. There's a lot of time where people that work together or tag partners or something, they have completely separate lives away from the arena. So that was something that made it very easy for us, is that we were able to do what we did in front of all the people in the audience, and then we were on the same page as far as restaurants we like, hotels we like, going to the gym, you know, stuff like that, driving through the night. We were always on the same page. So traveling with Kurt was, you know, like I said, working with him was great. Traveling with him was great. It's probably one of the better parts of my career when I was on Raw.
Now, when I was researching for the interview, I found a story that was apparently from your blog back in 2005 about doing, I think it's 500 Hindu squats.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, that was, I did like way too many squats than I should have. Benoit was asking me to do them with him, because he would like cardiovascular, he was conditioned like a machine. You know, he would, before every match, you do 500 freestanding squats, and for anybody, like 100 is a task in a row, let alone, you know, 5 times that amount is borderline inhuman. And I tried doing them with him once. I didn't get close. I did like maybe 200, maybe 300 max. I don't remember exactly what I ended up doing. And the muscle fibers, that's what you're doing. You work out, you're breaking down your muscle fibers. Well, my muscle fibers broke it down so finely from overexerting myself so bad that they kind of got carried through my bloodstream and into my kidneys. So I went to the bathroom. My piss was like, it was like Coca-Cola or like Dr. Pepper or something, like black. And I really got freaked out. The doctor had me piss in a cup, and they took it to the lab and they examined it, and they're like, it's, you know, 50% urine, 50% muscle fiber. That's all that color is. And then I told them what I've been doing about the squats, and they figured out that all those squats pushed all those muscle fibers in my bloodstream, which got caught in my kidneys, which ended up being what I was pissing out.
Wow.
So,
it sounds really gruesome. It was pretty funny.
So, all right. And I was reading that you actually started training when you were 15, right?
I can't remember if it was 15 or 16, but somewhere around there. I think it was. I was saying 16. I had my first match when I was 16. Yeah, I started Minnesota with Eddie Sharkey, and all the greats from the state of Minnesota went through him. That's where Jesse Ventura, the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal, Rick Rude, all those guys came from Eddie Sharkey's wrestling school. That's where I came up. Sean Waltman, X-Pac went through there. It was, if you live in the state of Minnesota, that's the place to go if you want to get a credible training.
Excellent. All right. Well, where can the people see you coming up?
Where do they see me?
Yeah, where can they see you?
Well, I don't have my calendar in front of me, so I'm not sure, but I'm all over the country. If you want to keep up with me, go to my website, ShawnDavairi.com. I think pretty soon they're going to be putting a calendar up there of all the events I'm going to be at. And I would say just stay tuned to television. I'm very, 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 very confident that by February or so I'll be on a major television outlet, be it WWE, TNA, or Ring of Honor pay-per-view. So if we just get through some contract negotiations and finalize some paperwork, I'm sure our wrestling fans will be able to see me on a televised, national televised wrestling product, at least in the month of February.
Excellent. Well, hopefully get to see that soon. I know you were a highlight when you were in WWE, and a great character, and we'll love to see you here in Pittsburgh in the IWC too.
Yeah, I actually think I'm coming back. Like I said, I'm not very good with dates. I don't have my calendar in front of me. I don't know exactly what's going on. But yeah,
I believe that's.
I'll be at the next IWC show in Pittsburgh.
I believe for the local fans here, that is February 16th off the top of my head. I accept no limitations.
There you go. That's the one.
And actually, in that angle, you're working with local guy Dennis Gregory and the Sandman and Too Cold Scorpio. How's that been for you so far? After 2 shows.
That's awesome. I never got a chance to work with Too Cold Scorpio before. That was someone that I've always kind of admired his ring style, and we were able to go out there. Whatever was the last show we just did, and just go out there and wait. We just went out there and had a match, and pretty much went out there and fought, and it was a lot of fun. It was something I don't get to do with too many people, so I really enjoyed the chance of doing with someone, let alone someone I've never been in the ring with before.
Excellent. All right. Well, before I let you go, can I ask one favor of you?
Yeah, what's that?
Can we get a liner for the Wrestling Mayhem show, sir?
Yeah. Let me know when you're ready.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, Shamaha Gushko Menan Fernando, you are listening to what is the show called again?
It's a Wrestling Mayhem show.
The Wrestling Mayhem show. Use that whole soundbite. This is Davairi, and you are listening to the Wrestling Mayhem show. Take 2. How's that?
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thanks for speaking with us. And we can't wait to see you again back in IWC and hopefully on TV soon.
All right, take care, guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot.